Mic check. YouTube, you guys hear me loud and clear? Mic check, check, check. Awesome. What's going on, Duck? What's up? Good morning, everyone. All right, let's get into it. So, SPY ended up, of course, having some bearish news as we posted earlier. We had the unemployment rate, we had the non-farm, and we had the average hourly earnings. We have more news at 10 a.m. Keep that in mind. 2 orange folders at 10 a.m. So, screw what the news says, guys. We play levels, right? So, we have an open gap to fill at 584.64. This is the gap from January 2nd, where we ended up closing at 584.64. SPY just filled this gap in the pre-market. I'm waiting for this gap to be retested during market hours. If we end up holding this as support, I'm going to hit calls for $1.50 upwards to the break of 586. If we do not hold this level as a support, where are we going to? First levels we're going to be going to again is all the way back to 584. If we end up losing 584, we're on our track to 581 and 580. Right? There is some micro levels. If you want to know my levels, I'll give them to you now. Potential bounce levels to the downside. So I personally have 584. We have 583.41, 583. 582.39, 582, 581.50, 581, blah, 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 to 580. So this is an over extension, right? Let's take a look at the 30-minute time frame. This is a big level, right? If you're watching my chart right now, you got to keep an eye on 586. Look at this floor that we had at 586, right? We reject it. We get some downside. We hold the support. We get the upside. We get the bounces, right? Look how this ended up going down 3 points before getting the bounce of 584.60, right? So we need to wait for confirmation. I don't want anyone just buying calls because we've been selling off. To play this extremely safe, 586, right? 586 support, it's going to be a 3-point rip up. So again, these levels, look at, we're trading the same levels for like the past 2 weeks. We're in the same freaking range, right? So 586 is support. It's a $3 empty pocket to 589, as you guys know. If we end up rejecting 586, first stop is going to be the open gap at 584.64. After that, we're going to be 584, drop a little bit lower, 581, and then we got 580. So those are the levels I'm currently watching for today. If we see this gap, I want this gap filled in market and trading hours. Market open. From January 2nd, this is the gap on SPY. Let's put the previous closing price in, 589.45. There you go. So we got SPY's previous closing price. If we end up getting a bounce up to there, that would be beautiful. We're watching some major levels, right? Major levels is going to be this gap, and then we got 586. So if we start selling off, I'll probably hit puts if this gap, 584.64, ends up being a resistance. Other than that, I'm not too interested on calls till realistically above 586. So stay bearish until 586 ends up being a support, right? We break above 586, then I'm thinking about calls. This is where I'll be bullish, right? Micro bullish. But beneath 586, I'm bearish, guys. So stick with the trend. And 586 could be a very, very good level for puts as well. So let's just wait to see how it pans out. Wednesday's trading plan, we ended up having levels, right? Look at 586. 586, 3.5 point rip up, right? We come back down, we break 586, we hold above it again, another 4 point, almost a 4 point run up. This is why we use levels. It's an empty pocket. We reject, we go to the one Gap 586. We hold support, we're going to the high pocket. We reject, we're going to the low pocket, right? So that's the channel that SPY's been respecting. So if you are bearish, you're waiting for 586, this is going to be a good risk to reward for the short side, in my opinion. Well, that's just what history shows us. But again, you need to make a plan, you need to execute the plan, right? And you also need an entry and exit. Make sure you have an exit at all times. What are you willing to risk on this trade? You need to know that every single trade you enter. Don't just, oh, I got $4,000 in an account. Okay, I'm going to hit 10 contracts. Like, stop that, guys. Be smart. Have your risk already in to your trade. I'm going to buy 586 puts with 10 contracts. I'm going to risk $250 on this trade to potentially make 1,000 plus, right, to the gap. So just keep that in mind. Let's get back. Just checking the Discord. All right. Okay, guys, we got 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes till market open. If you're watching the chart right now, you guys see what I see. We got certain levels to go off of, and that's where we're going to be trading. You're just tuning in, guys. We have an open gap to fill, 584.64. This is January 2nd's gap. I'm waiting to see this gap get filled in regular trading hours. The best level to be watching today is going to be 586. When we zoom out on the 30-minute time frame, you guys see, I'm going to make this red. I'm going to clean my charts up tonight. I'm sorry. I'm going to make this yellow, right? So 586 has been the floor. Yes, we can overextend $1. Yes, we can overextend $3. We're watching for 586 as a resistance. I do not want calls beneath 586. I'm waiting for 586 to become a support. Okay, so we get over 586, then I'm bullish. Until then, I'm looking for short. Bears are all going to be lined up at 586, and it could be a fake out. We could end up ripping to the mid 587. So keep that in mind. As we go, as the market opens, we will get a better idea of what exactly is going to happen, but that's what I'm focusing on. That's it, Trevor. Nice and easy, brother. Nice and easy. I'm telling you guys, I've been there. I've done it so many times. Too many times have I blown up trading accounts or have taken stupid losses, right? Know what you're willing to risk, no matter what. It's like anything in life. What are you willing to risk to get what you want, right? Hard work and discipline, going to the gym every day gets you the body you want. You know what you're willing to risk on what foods not to eat, blah, 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 right? It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing when it comes to trading. You got to know what you're willing to risk on every trade, regardless of anything. Don't enter blindly. But we have our levels. 586 is where it's at. Market's about to open. We're opening right at 586. So, puts at 586 could work. We have a gap to fill. But if you look right now, The gap is already as a support in the pre-market. We've seen this once before a couple days ago where SPY filled the gap in the pre-market and started running. So all bears are lined up at 586 right here. Keep that in mind. Everyone's watching 586. Waiting for this gap to fill. And with that being said, everyone's watching 586, right, on SPY. I could see them just ripping right through it to the mid 587. So just be careful. And I'm talking about a trap. Just be wary of traps. A lot of traps have been happening lately. Very big overextensions through key pockets and key levels. So we're prepared for that. That's why we're not just buying in. We're just going to wait for the confirmation. I only want calls above 586. Until then, I do not care about calls. Gap's about to fill. January 2nd's gap is about to fill right now. Yes, we're extremely bearish. The make or break it level from here is going to be this gap. If we end up rejecting this gap, we're going to probably go to 583s to 582 levels. Bulls are starting to line up at this level. Oh, potential bulls. You know, SPY loves to fill its gaps. So we have an open gap to fill. No, we don't. Never mind. $577, yes, correct. Thank you, Wild Bean. Remember, I'm avoiding calls until we're above 586. We are bearish until then. We are at bounce levels. So keep that in mind if you're bearish. What's the VIX at? I'm possibly gonna start a position on the VIX today. VIX is at what? 1884-ish. When VIX gets above 20, I'm gonna go in. So far we had a gap close reversal. I'd won almost a full point from the bottom gap. Remember, we don't need to bottom tick shit. We just gotta wait for the confirmation. Once you start having a big account, that's when you're able to start taking some price action and start trying some trades. But we knew this gap we wanted to get this gap to be filled. We're waiting for above 586. We hold above 586. I'm hitting calls. If I start seeing weakness at 586 level, it's a little bit trickier because we do have a support at the lower gap. So keep that in mind. But going with the trend, we'll stick with the trend until the trend is broken. Yeah, I did just put in a sloping resistance. I took the highs of Tuesday and the highs of Wednesday. Yes, we broke them in the pre-market. That doesn't matter. And we get a nice breakthrough here. And even if you're short, I would wait for this line to hit. I wouldn't touch hit puts right at 586 if that's what you wanted. I would wait a little bit just to give yourself a better entry. But trend is bearish, right? We're avoiding calls until we're above. Just add 586 to your chart. Look at this yellow line. Let me look at the 4 hour. All right, this is the 4 hour time frame. Look at 586, this yellow line right here. Look how far we can overextend before taking it. That's why 581 to 580 is a potential level for bounces. Right now we're currently bouncing off the highs of October 17th, the highs of October 14th, right? So just keep that in mind. We are at bounce levels, but the trend is bearish. It looks like a very big head and shoulders. And with this completing, it should take us to the 566 levels potentially. In the most bearish case scenario. I don't really trust it, but screw what I trust. Let's just play level by level. We need a second bounce off the gap. This is when you could start getting calls ready to go, potentially, right? And why did I say that? Just in case we get a double bounce from the gap, right? A 584.64. It may not happen, I'm just saying. My broker allows me to get calls and puts ready at the same time. And even though something is just bearish and selling off, I'm not just buying puts, right? I'm waiting for certain levels to be retested and getting the best entry possible to ride it back down. I'm not interested in just FOMOing in and hopping on a high-speed train that's running past me. Because at any point, as I just said, we're at October highs. We're retesting October highs right now, and bounces could occur at any point here. Nice, Duke. Good work. Top gap right to the bottom. Beautiful. Yeah, I could see 581 to 580 for sure. I do see that. And because everything's bearish, guys, we look for puts to key levels. We're not looking for calls at the moment. If you go on the daily right now or watching my chart, look where I'm putting my mouse, right? Look at this floor that we have. It's a pretty good bounce level, right? And look how far it can go down to. We could potentially hit 577 for sure and fill the last gap. If it happens today, maybe. But this overall daily chart, we're already able to identify extreme bearishness, and we should fill the gap. Do we have a gap of 575, Gecko? I don't know if Weeble's off. Where did it close? 574.77. Is that still a gap? The gap at 580 was filled, Gecko. At least that's what Weeble's telling me. 576.70. Okay, thank you. Remember, pick and choose your trades properly and wisely. Don't FOMO into something. Wait for your levels. Wait for confirmation. If you don't get any of your good levels hit today, right? Don't take a trade. Don't feel the need that you have to trade every single day. I don't like this price action. Obviously, we know it's bearish, right? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that we're going down right now. But like, I don't like how we didn't even hit 586. So if my level doesn't hit, because I know if we didn't hit 586, we can come back and hit 586. This is why I'm not getting into puts just before it. I'm waiting for the confirmation. And now, if you are bearish, we are approaching the gap, the last gap on the chart, 584.64. This is an entry for puts at this gap on the retest. And your price target would be 582.39. Extremely bearish. We're just at bounce levels. Remember, watch October's highs. Think about it in a macro point of view. Don't think about it as a micro, right? A lot of people are going to start buying very safe calls at these levels because it's just bounce levels. All it is bounce levels. We do have a head and shoulders, a very bearish setup right now, but look left, right? Zoom out and look left. This is the daily time frame. Look at all this bounce level, all right? Look at the highs from October. So there are going to be people lining up here, but again, we don't just buy safe contracts, safe calls because a lot of people are doing it, and that's and the chart looks like it's a good spot because this can dump, guys. So that's why we have our set levels. 586. We're going to be retesting the high 590s again, 600s. Gecko, the gap, 580 gap filled October 30th on my chart. But Weibo could be wrong. Now we got a nice sloping resistance in play for anyone that plays trend lines. It's just good just to keep a trend, a micro trend. So closer to this line here is the best entry for puts, of course, right? And once we break out of it, I would not touch puts until above 586. This is the retest of the gap. This is where bears are going to be lining up right now, guys. This is a good entry for puts if you're bearish. This is the break and the retest of the gap. But if we hold this support, it's an empty pocket to 586. And I'm going to get calls ready to go. 584 calls, just in case. But if you are bullish, you should be in calls right now. Bears and bulls, whatever side you're in, this is where you're supposed to be in at. This is the exact level. If you're bullish, you shouldn't be at the moment, but if you were, you should be in now. And if you're bearish, that was the break and the retest of the gap. Stick with the trend. You see how we immediately rejected off the gap? The break and the retest. It's just scary having puts because, again, we could bounce at any level here. Bears are in control. Stick with the trend until the trend breaks. That's it. Stick with the trend until the trend breaks. I'm 30 minutes of death candle right now. We're probably going to hit 580 today. And if you took the puts at the gap, I would start looking to start trimming majority of your position and leave some runners. Again, we know why. We're in a big support level on the daily, on the macro time frames. Yes, we can still hit 581, but just keep that in mind. Okay, thank you, Gecko. I'll look at that after. Macro time frames, right? Click the daily. You guys see this is a big bounce level, right? Even when it's nasty sell off, it's a bounce level. Nasty sell off, it's a bounce level, right? Every nasty bounce level that or sell off we had, we were bouncing from in and around 2-point range at this level. Keep that in mind, right? That's the only reason why, even though we are bearish, it's just what the market's telling us. Big sell-offs at these levels. We've been bouncing. That's why I'm getting VIX puts ready to go. I'm going to short the VIX. I'll probably go 1 month out with some confirmation. And if anyone was wondering why the Bitcoin had a big sell-off, is because the Fed had got confirmation that they're allowed to sell like $6 billion worth of Bitcoin. SVIX on it's VIX or SVIX? Let me look. What broker are you with? You're with Wealthsimple, right? Give me a second. On mine, it's just VIX. So hold on. Very cautious being in puts at these levels around the 582 50s, 60s. My ticker for VIX on Questrade is VIX.in. That's it for Questrade. And I think Interactive Brokers is just VIX. I'll keep you updated. Still avoid calls. We have zero confirmation to even buy a call. Okay? The trend is down. I just don't like buying down here because we're at big bounce zones. So I prefer not to get anything at the moment. And the only good play was the gap, right? The breakthrough, retest the gap, sell off. I'm kind of pissed I didn't take that. The 1 minute looked like it was going to do a gnarly rip for a second. That's why I was just preparing both sides, but can't catch them all, guys. Just patience. Just know your levels, what you're buying in at. Look for a rejection. This is a double bottom so far, pre-market lows. So we're probably going to take them out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, VIX is at 19. I want it. This is one. This is ideally a good level to start getting VIX. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. There's zero confirmation to buy calls, right? And when you're shorting the VIX, you're anticipating the stock market to go up. VIX above 20 bucks, that's when big volatility starts coming into play. And there's one thing that's 100% sure is that the VIX always goes down. This is why you short the VIX, you don't get calls on the VIX. And let's look at some contracts. Let's go February 19th. Let's go puts. And they're relatively cheap, to be honest. VIX puts. I'll probably do a 17 strike. Right now they're, no way. They're $1.14 for 17 VIX puts a month out. Remember, we don't need to buy calls here. We don't got to buy calls at 584. We don't have to buy calls at 584.64. We can wait till 586 because that's going to be the best risk to reward, right? Even for puts, 586 is the best level. Right now, there's zero reason for calls. The only thing to be hesitant on, or what makes me hesitant for puts, is that the levels that we're currently at, just from zooming out and clicking the daily time frame. Right, we're at big resistance zones, and if we end up putting in a higher low from January 2nd, SPY is going to absolutely rocket if we put a higher low in. So as of right now, we're on track to take it out to break 580. If we end up putting in a higher low, as I said, check the one. Little bouncy bounce. Every rip this morning has been shorted. Keep that in mind. We just have to pay attention for today. If we don't take out the lows of January 2nd, I feel like SPY's gonna freaking run, bud. And the only reason why I don't think too big of a sell-off is going to happen is I'm just keeping an eye on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's still holding liquidity. Like, Bitcoin's still at 94K. So nothing like too crazy is happening, right? Just a little bit of a market correction. I think we have one more good rally in us before Trump takes office. Good job, MCon. Ooh, 10 o'clock news, baby. Dump. Look at every single rip has been shorted, right? All the scalper day traders are just shorting rips. Okay, my price target is hit. My lower price target has hit. So I'm just chilling. We are seeing a gap at 580 still has not been filled. So whether we hit that, SPY gets pulled down, but my chart's telling me that gap's been filled. That's the only reason why I'm uncertain about 580, but let it go. Anyone got an update on that news? How bad were the numbers? Heavy selling pressure right now, ladies and gents. Almost 9 points down from Wednesday's closing price. That's what happens when VIX gets above $18. You start seeing big volatile moves like this. And we are currently rejecting 581 in the 1 minute. Should bring us down a full point right now. We're getting close to the 100 moving average on the daily. And if you just look back at history, we have big bounces from there. I'm probably going to take a position, potentially a VIX puts, once we get a little bit bigger of a drop. We took out the lows from January 2nd. And the gap is officially closed. Holy shit, look at this thing. Amazing work. Good job. Good job, trader. And we just hit a psychological level on SPY, 580. This is where, if you're holding puts, this is where you're getting the hell out, because this is where SPY could bounce at, right? It's a big psychological level. It looks like shit for calls, so I would still avoid calls, even though it could work. It's already worked 50 cents right now, but careful. I'm not seeing anything good. I don't want to go against the trend right now, and I don't have a good entry. I miss my the good entry, 584.64. And then after that, I'm just waiting to see how we react to 560. We have a gap to fill. If 580 turns into a resistance, SPY is going to flush $1.20, $1.30. And then I'll get puts at 580, under 580, with confirmation. But this is a big psychological level. And usually trend days like this, man, we just keep freaking selling off. So it's scary to be on both sides. Right now, it's scary to be on both sides. I'm not going to lie. In puts, I'd be scared at 580. And calls, I'd be deathly scared at 580. All right, we're watching this 580 level right here. If we end up rejecting 580, next stop is going to be 578.73, and then we have the gap to fill at 576.70. This is a bounce level, though, so just very cautious at these levels. I am playing very conservative today, to be honest, because I'm all about entries, and 586 didn't hit, and I'm just sitting on my hands. Yes, there's a bunch of scalps I can get, but we're not trying to make anyone lose unnecessary amounts of money. Best setups only. We get above 581, calls could go up a full point to 2 points. We reject 580, we're going to 578.73. You got to keep an eye on the weekly high and lows, right? We took out the weekly lows. We 1, 2. Man, look at the weekly if you're watching my chart right now. Look at that fucking head and shoulders, bro. Jesus. Oh, it should bring us to break 570 in the 569s. Just the way the shape is. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but SPY, when it does a head and shoulders, it usually puts in a lower low from the left shoulder. So that's why I have, like, this could potentially go to 560, break 560. In the most bearish case scenario. But remember, nothing just goes straight up and straight down. Don't be way too bearish. We can easily get a nice bounce to 586, 587 again before the next leg down, right? Nothing just goes straight up and straight down. There are bounces that are going to happen. Good job, Zen. VIX is at 20 bucks. No. Why is my Quest trade saying VIX is at 20 bucks? And Google is saying it's not. Sketch. Who has the price for VIX? Are we above 20 bucks? Google's saying we're not. Okay, all right, my broker's right then. Google's off. Google's probably just delayed. All right, if you're bearish, this is where you're supposed to buy puts right here. This is the break and the retest of 580, what we did on the gap. If you're bearish and you want to buy puts at the low of day, this is a big psychological level. Break and retest of 580. We reject 580 here. We're going to dump. I'm choosing not to hit puts right now. But that's your entry, 580. Look at that. You see how the break and the retest, and we automatically get that sell-off down 30 cents. We should hit 578.73. So I got VIX puts on my screen right now. I'm going February 19th, 17 puts. February 19th, 17 puts. This is the only time I'll go out the money. I'm not in it yet. SPY's still selling off. I'm just going to wait for 580. Today's one of those trend days, it's looking like. I just bought right now, guys. I'm in February 19th. 17 puts for VIX. They're $1.05. $1.05 VIX puts. I'm in right now. I bought myself time, and I'm in light, very light. I'm probably in a 25% position. Right? I'm in right now as a starter position. You see how safe I went? All right, VIX, as soon as it gets above 20, I'm shorting the F out of it. I know nothing just goes straight up and straight down. I think this is going to be one of the best plays, shorting the VIX. And I'm in right now. Remember, when you're swing trading, it's extreme high risk. I'm holding this. I'm swinging this. FYI. And go in light. If you hit freaking 5 contracts, put 1 in, right? Do something like that, whatever you do. It's such a psychological level. VIX is above 20, so I'm shorting it. I just know from experience nothing goes straight up and straight down. And the VIX moves a lot slower than the SPY. And guys, they're 1 month, over a month out, a month and 9 days out, and it's they're $1, right? So that's the only time I go out the money. That is of right now, we're beneath 580. SPY is bearish. We have an open gap to fill at 576.70. SPY is officially down 10 points from Wednesday's closing price. Disgusting. Telling you, VIX puts, guys. By the way, I'm very bearish on PayPal. Very, very bearish on PayPal. Because they ended up buying Honey. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up to date on Honey. With all that fraud shit going on, I could see PayPal having quite a big pullback. In VIX puts 17 strike. Feb. What contracts did I buy? Feb 19. Remember, VIX puts, you short the VIX when it's over 20 bucks. It's guaranteed. Yes, VIX could still go to 25, but we bought ourselves time and we're in light. Just look at the history on VIX, guys. It's free money when we start getting into this range. And the volatility, SPY hits very, very volatile when VIX is above 20 bucks. And for day trading, watch this weakness at 580, right? We're waiting for weakness. We already have one rejection, a breakthrough retest, dump, put a new low in. Now it's looking like it's going to retest 580 again. If we hold 580, first price target's 581. Second price target's going to be 582.39. All right, this previous floor. You see the pre-market floor? You see how we broke through it? This is my price target potentially for calls till 582.39. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does, that's my price, my higher price target. And beneath 580, it's puts. So
This is a bounce level, psychological level 580, guys. Right? This is why I'm in VIX puts. This is why I'm shorting the VIX right now. I'm not buying calls on SPY. I'm shorting the VIX. VIX is guaranteed to go down. Right? I went over a month out. There's a reason why. Right? I don't care that I missed the puts here. I don't care that I missed the puts here. I don't care that I didn't swing trade puts. Do not give two shits. Right? I play levels and I play certainty and I play confirmation. And if I miss a trade, I don't FOMO in. And if you're bearish, you should be in puts right now if you are bearish. You got to short the shit out of this. This is 580. If you're bearish, short the shit out of this. If you're bullish, wait for the first 5-minute candle to close above 580. I'm not going to touch SPY today. You're bearish, short, 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 short. If you're bullish, wait for the first 5-minute candle to close above 580. I think there's more upside than downside, but we do have an open gap to fill. Keep this in mind. But if you're bearish, get in shorts right now. Puts. Look at that shit, baby. I already have 5 cents. I'm up 5 cents on my contracts already for VIX puts, baby. Let it run. Let it run. Bears are attacking this level too. Keep that in mind. We wait for confirmation. We wait for a 5-minute candle to close above 580 before getting bullish. Even though we just ran a buck, who cares? We should be on track to 581.50. Every green candle today has been followed by a sell-off candle, right? So once you see the trend change, you see 2 5-minute green candles. That's a little bit of a trend change. But just following today's trend, it's puts right now. All right, every green candle, you short the next 5-minute green candle, and you made money. And if you have cash and you want to short the market and don't want to do options, SPXS is a great ticker to buy shares. Nice and cheap, but I don't recommend it right now. Just like giving you guys the bearish and bullish side. To me, I think the market's extremely oversold right now on the micro. Macro overbought, micro oversold. So that's the reason why I'm shorting the VIX. Should get a little baby pop here to 581.50. Should touch the 9 EMA on the 5. Should.
But this is also a resistance level. Guys, I got 581 puts on my screen, same days. I'm gonna take a quick little scout. This is 581 here. I would want 581.50. Let this go to 581.50 and I'm going to hit puts. But the 1 minute is looking like it's breaking trend. Let's wait to see. What's the 5 doing? And we know 582.39. It could come up to retest this previous floor, right? We just broke through it. It is a possibility. I'm just looking for some weakness on the 1 minute before entering puts. I'm just going with the trend, and I know we can go a little bit higher. That's why I'm waiting. Okay, guys, I'm in 581 puts right now. 581 puts, same days. My price target is going to be in the money, break through 581. I'm in at $1.64, and I'm going to sell at as soon as we break under 581. And we could hit 581.77 potentially, so keep that in mind. I'm just scalping this. Oh. As soon as this goes in the money, I'm selling. And this is where you can get in right here. Good entry. I just doubled down my position. I'm selling in the money. I want this to break 581. This is where you should short the fuck out of this thing. Let's go, baby. Bring us in the money. If we break the high of this, that's a stop loss. 581.60 is my stop loss. We should die right now. Die. Don't do it. Remember, if we break the high of this, 581.60 is the stop loss for puts. It could end up even going to 586 right here. What are these contracts at? Oh, I'm only down 14 cents on these. I just doubled down. This is where it could go to. This is the 50 moving average on the 1 minute. And this is where we should be able to go in the money. I was surprised these contracts didn't even move too bad. And this should be the trade that we could dump like a mofo. 580.83 is my price target. We should dump. Wow, I got a gravestone on the 5. Dump. I'm selling in the money. If we get there. Let's go dump. Big, big sell-off. And I pretty much took this trade based off of EMA lines. Moving averages. I'm looking to get ready to scale out of these guys. Break 581, you mofo. Let me see what the 5's doing. The 1 minute looked bearish. Now the 5 minute looks bullish now. It's probably going to run to the 13 EMA 582. And all bears are lined up at 582.39. 582.39. This is the previous. Remember the floor that we talked about, 582.39? The pre-market bounce, the first bounce in the morning. If we get above this, SPY's going to freaking explode. But if you buy safe contracts, I still like puts, to be honest. But you see how we didn't hit 581, but the 5 minute chart's looking like it? We just barely missed it. Come on, give us an engulfing candle, buddy. We need to break 581.50 or SPY's going to rock it. So if you're bearish, we got to get under 581.50 right now, or I'm telling you we're going to get a pump to like 583. That's just how the moving averages are lined up right now. But this could be the overextension and we drop to 581. And it's kind of a bear flag setup too. And it's a 50% retracement from this candle. Puts should work right now. I'm bearish as of right now for a healthy pullback to through 581. But we may not get it. We've been selling off all day. This is a good short level. Looks like such a good level right here. I'm just watching the 581.50. We need to break through this. All bears are lined up here. 582.39, right? If we hold this, SPY's going to recover to 586. If we hold 582.39, SPY's going to recover. These same days are not even moving that much today. It's weird. I'm still in puts, by the way. I'm still in. My contracts aren't even moving that much. I'm only down like 22 cents. I'm waiting to double down, but I may not even need to. If we get under 581 again, SPY's going to dump. And just watch. You see this? If you use Fibonacci's, go from the high of this sell-off to the low. This is like in and around like the 718 retracement, right? So if the trend does remain bearish, we're gonna be hitting 580s, 580 80s to potentially 580 50. But again, if we hold above 582, we got this level 582.39. SPY is gonna rock it. I'm gonna go January 15th, 582 puts right now because this is our level. And this is why it's such a good risk to reward here. This is where we're gonna be wrong once. Puts are gonna print right now, right? Or it's gonna retrace all the way to this gap. So if you just zoom out and look, this is the risk to reward trade for shorts. But you don't want to get caught in a V-shaped recovery. But this is the best risk to reward. This is the pre-market floor, the beginning floor. I just got a new strike at 582 puts for January 5th. And my price target is going to be in the money at 581. And if we hold above 582.39, then I'm out. That's it. You see how I went safer here? Like, this is the best risk to reward for a put. Because we're wrong once. We end up still going up. It's a cut. And we should get 580.83. I'm at 441. What are these? These things are fucking flying these 3 days out. Remember, we're just watching this 9 EMA. If we bounce from it again, come on, 581.50, dump. I'm trimming my 582 puts just a little bit because I hit with size and I'm up over 20 cents on them. Doesn't look like much. This is a level we have to reject. We reject 582 right now. SPY's gonna take a effing dump right now. And just look, that's a reason why we got into shorts. We don't know how big this move is going to be, but ideally it should go to 581. You see the pre-market floor here, the morning floor, right, at 582.39, a key level that I had. It was respecting this pocket, right? And then we came up to this pocket. That's why it was the best risk to reward for, and it could only be this move right here. So you have to, if you're shorting, to keep it safe, I'd have a stop loss at 582.50. Right, 582.50, I would stop out. Because we've seen runs like this when SPY just does a full V shape. So just be careful. We don't want to get clapped going against the trend. The trend was down, and the trend can easily change. But this is the level the trend flips back to, right? And this is why we just buy ourselves time. This little pocket right here, this is the best opportunity for a short pocket, to short this little pocket in here. So if we get a double rejection here, we may even break the high of that previous 5-minute candle, right? Before any move to the downside. When you have pockets like this, you got to give yourself room. You have to leave yourself room. You got to buy safe contracts. Same days won't work in pockets like this because this is the make or break. This is where you're wrong once, right? The trend's either going to completely flip up and start dumping, or this is the pocket, the previous support, right? We break it, big move to the downside. We come back up for the retest. This is exactly where it could go. Kurt, what's your expiry? Or what's your strike and where's your entry? Monday safe. This is a good entry for Monday puts because you're wrong once here. If you see support of 582.39, SPY's going to rock it. Let me look at this. Geez, the 30-minute 9 EMAs at frickin' 585. Just to the 9 EMA, the closest moving average. That's wild. This is still a short pocket. Where we're trading in right now is still a short pocket. You should be bearish right now. If you're bearish, you're in shorts right now. This is the pocket to be bearish in. And what's a stop loss? If you hold it 582.39 as support. This is the make or break right here. And what I'm looking at, we broke through the 9 EMA. We're holding 1 5-minute candle as support, 2 5-minute candles as support. This is the level. If we end up bouncing off the 9 one more time, then you know the trend's going to continue upwards. But this is the short level. If you're short and bearish, this is the pocket to be in shorts, as I said. I'm going to tell you when to cut it because this is starting to look strong. This is the make or break. If you're shorts, just to be safe, I will tell you. The trend is bearish, right? The macro trend. This is just a micro pump, or it could be a potential V-shaped recovery. But this is the level. Look at all the resistance we have at 582.39. This ideally, in the most bearish case scenario, we should get a $1.50 pullback. If we hold support here, we're going to 586 today. And the next level to watch is 583, right? That's previous resistance from this morning too. Previous support from the pre-market, 583. If we get up there, you could stop out of puts right now if you want to and re-enter at 583. Potentially if it goes up there, just keep your levels. I just don't trust SPY bouncing from here. That's why I'm more bearish. And this is a bounce level, potential bounce level, 582. This is where we could bounce at. So if you're in puts, this is where you're managing your position right here. Don't let a green trade go red. And if you are bullish, this is a potential level to be buying calls at if you wanted to go with the bulls. All right. If I was bullish right now, I'm expecting a little bit of a dip down. It may not happen. So if you are bullish, this is a good level, 582, to potentially go. But again, I'm in puts right now. I'm in 2 strikes, 582 and 581 puts. One same days, and another one is January 15th. And my first levels are going to be 581.50. First sell target. Next sell target is going to be 581. But nothing's guaranteed. Make sure you manage your positions, guys, at all times. 582s. We short 582. 40s. They just went in the money. We're waiting to see now if 582 is still a support. Because if it is, we're probably going to rip up a full point to 583. So just manage it. So if you wanted to, all you got to do, what I usually do, I'll just make a level, horizontal, and you see this bearish candle, this 5-minute bearish candle, I'll put at the high, right? So 582.53. As soon as it breaks above this candle, you just get out. Until then, I hold. I hold until this level breaks or I'm happy with the profit. But I'm going to... I have my 582s. I'm going to start trimming a little. I hit extremely heavy to be green on the day. And we always sell from at the money, in the money. 582, right? As soon as if we short 582.40s, for instance, and we break 582, we're in the 581. This is where you start managing your position, right? This is where you start taking some off. So my contracts are up 30 cents already from... for the January 15th ones, and I hit very heavy, and now I'm down to runners in that one. And 581.50 is where I would personally sell my runners. Do a little flick up here and give us a nice dump. Remember, if we lose this level, 582, you know where we're going. We're going down a full dollar. Remember, a bear trap could be in play. Just manage this, right? This is the 13 EMA. This is where we should be able to get a rejection from to 581.50 as of right now. So this is like another level for puts. If you didn't get in, this is where you buy the break and the retest, potentially in the bearish case scenario. If you're bullish, if we end up breaking 581.78, that's your stop loss. We break the high of this previous 5-minute candle, SPY is going to rocket to 583. So we're bearish underneath 582.53. And this is where you add in puts if you wanted to. If you are bearish, this is the entry. Remember, 582.39. This is the bounce level here. This is the bounce level of this morning. This is the level to watch. This 5-minute candle closes above it. I would stop shorting SPY completely till 583. You have firm stop losses right now. Hard stops on right now. As soon as we break the high of this, get the hell out of puts. If we break the high of that previous 5-minute candle, that's your stop loss. Because we know SPY is going to flip crazy bullish. There you go. Now get the hell out of shorts. Do not short this. Right? You see how we did that? 582.53. As soon as we broke the high, the peak of the previous 5-minute candle, bearish candle, that's your stop loss. And look what it did. It already ran 50 cents from it. That's what I was telling you. Have hard stops on. As soon as that breaks, look at that pump, right? Now I don't want nothing to do with puts because I've seen something like this happen before. What's my confirmation? I don't need to short here. I don't need to short here. I don't need to short here. I'm going to wait until we get back beneath a 582.39, and that's going to be the confirmation that we go lower. So stop trying to short this. 582.39, this is where you put your level right here. As soon as we break under this again, that's where you get puts. You don't need to short here. Even though 583 is a potential short, it just looks strong. We've seen shit like this before where we end up making a new high day of 586. So yeah, key trades. I only trade SPY. I did take a position for VIX puts. I'll show you right now. I got VIX puts at the low of day 17 strike for February something. I'll tell you right now. Well, we know nothing just goes straight up and straight down. I went February 19th, 17 puts. So they're up 6 cents right now, right? But it's something I want to swing, and once VIX starts dipping down, then I'll sell. Nice. Yeah, keep an eye on that. Remember, we know nothing just goes straight up and straight down. We are watching at all times for retests, right? That's why the first best level for puts was the retest of 582.39. We knifed through pre-market support and support today. We came back to retest it. This is why this was the best level to short. Now, since we trimmed, runners got stopped out, this is where we're watching. We're not trying to top tick 583 right now because we know SPY has a bullish momentum right now. I'm just waiting till we get beneath of 582.39 again. Once we break under this again, I'm hitting puts because SPY is most likely going to put a new low of day in. And we've seen SPY does shit like this. You'll be in puts, you'll have a firm stop loss, you get a big bullish candle, stops you out for the next candle to flush, right? But that's just a part of this industry. There's going to be effery, there's going to be fake outs. That's why you have to wait to see where you're buying the best levels possible. And when doubt, if this is the trade right now, that brings us to 581. That's how much fuckery on SPY has been happening lately. Watch. I don't even got to say anything. It's probably going to happen. I've seen this a million times, but we had our risk management in check. We had a firm stop loss. If we got stopped out, we're not risking it anymore. We're not holding for 50 cents against us, right? And now look it. Now SPY's going to die to potentially a new low of day. You see how that shit works? But, and it sucks, but you know what? We still had a firm stop loss on. Our risk management was in check. That's why you should be happy. Everyone should be happy because you had a game plan, you had a strategy, you had an entry, and you had an exit. We had a stop loss. If we got stopped out, this is how you stay in this industry for a long time. You need to have proper risk management. You need to have firm stop losses. Because some trades like this, yeah, we got fucked, right? Now it's going to work. But listen, some other days, if you don't keep a stop loss or an exit, we could have skyrocketed 2 points immediately to 585, right? It's possible. So we need to be consistent with the stops because everyone in here, you call more winning trades than you do losing trades, right? But a lot of people are not profitable because they're letting those out of 10 trades, you get 6 right. Those 3 or 4 trades that are red, they wipe everything off the table. And that's why you can't do that. Out of 10 trades, think about you make $200 for 10 trades in a row. $200, $200, $200. And then you lose 3. You're still profitable because you only risked 200, 200, 200, but you got 7 in a row that were correct, right? Just think about it like that. Out of 10 trades, you're allowed to lose 3. But make sure Those 3 trades you lose, you're still profitable from those 7. That's how you got to look. See? And that was just a straight up fuckery trade. If you got 583, which I fucking had a feeling we're going to hit 583 too. Honestly, I swear to God I had that feeling. It's okay though. And look, at first price target hit, second price target is going to be 581 flat to potentially a new low of day to potentially a higher low. Fake outs after fake outs. This is the market. This is why you just need firm stop losses. You need to have a firm stop loss. I don't care if you get faked out. It's better to be faked out and it's calculated into your trading plan, your trading week, your trading month, than to just take a stupid, unnecessary loss, right? But it's going to work. We're going to end up putting in a higher low or take out the low. And that's what you call fuckery candle. That's it. And our re-entry is going to be the retest. If we even get it at this point, I highly doubt it. But like the best level to short would be 582.39. It's most likely going to reject from 582, and it probably won't even touch 582, to be honest, if it's going to do what I think it's going to do. No worries, bro. Anytime key trades. No worries, man. Look at that. Look at the freaking fake out. See, we had the right direction. We knew the best level to short. We knew that pocket. Sometimes it overextends. And that's a part of it, guys. That is a part of trading. This is why I preach. The more capital you have is the less risk you take. If you would have caught 3-week outputs at this level, right? You probably wouldn't have got faked out here. But if you're in same days, of course you got to get faked out, or you're gonna get faked out, and you're gonna get stopped out. And look at that price target hit. This was our put play. It just overextended, freaking 50, 60, 70 cents. That's a part of trading, right? You have your levels. And sometimes SPY overshoots levels. And now we're looking, SPY's either going to put a higher low in right now, around 580.50, or we're gonna take out new low of day. And this is the candle where you are reshorting. But I've seen so many times like this candle engulfs the next one. But ideally, 582 puts is the wave. That's what I think. Exactly, Kurt. Trust me. Same days, they're scary. Same days are scary. You need to be good with price action. And not only that, you just need to have a big account. And you got to go on light. Right? If you have under 50K in your account, you should not be trading nowhere near 20 contracts. Or like 20 should be the absolute max. Even that's freaking high risk. It's all about the percentage of your account that you're risking. Right? You know how they say use 1% of your account? You could still full port, but still only risk 1% of your account. Yeah, I like 3 days out, but IV was jacked up today. The contracts are $4 for in the money. And now this is the level, the higher low, potential higher low level where SPY can end up ripping. But do you see why? I just want you guys to know why we bought there, right? Look at the pocket right here. Look at the pocket. Floor, resistance, big knife through, retest. The bounce zone is now our resistance zone until we get back above it.
I see a pullback to at least 580.50 to potentially a new low of day. Remember, SPY overextends. This is why we have to develop patience. But I had confirmation, right? We had the first reaction. This was a good level. The short went our way, and then we had this big fuckery candle for it to end up falling off a cliff, right? It's a part of it. There's nothing you can do. It's either you had balls of steel and you're willing to take the risk, the short side, or you stop out, right? You have your risk under control, and you wait for another entry. $581 is a big level, so this could be a bounce level for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to give you the upper levels. 584 is a big level. Look at the pre-market pre-market support, right, of 584. We broke through it, did not retest it to the upside. We got 584 to 586, potentially 587.20s. Right? That's the upside downside potential. We have 580, we got 578.73, and then we have the gap to fill at 576.70. I'm going to get going for the day. Thank you guys so much for being here. Not as good as day as I anticipated, to be honest, but sometimes we get faked out. It's a part of it, guys. There's nothing we can do. We don't got crystal balls. We just have levels and price action to be trading off of. So that's everything, guys. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it, and I will see everyone Monday morning. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.